I really need to repick my NBA final. A couple months ago, I picked the Warriors versus the Bucks. I mean, the Bucks still are not bad, but the Warriors... yeah, that's bad. I need to redo that. So we got to take a look at some of these standings here. I mean, obviously a lot of folks still have the Nuggets as their favorites to win the West, and I can't be mad at that. But we need to dive a little bit deeper. I don't know. I don't love the idea of the Nuggets going back to back. I don't see that same energy. I don't see the same fire from the Nuggets. Obviously, they're still a super talented team. I just don't think that's crazy enough for me. If you watch my NFL playoff bracket, which you should if you haven't, we get crazy around here. And unfortunately, the Warriors was just a little too crazy. We need to reel it in. I mean, I was high on the Warriors. I really liked the idea of Chris Paul coming in. But obviously, that hasn't worked. Draymond Green is getting out of control, man. But even if it all comes together, when Chris Paul gets healthy, when Draymond gets feeling like his mental self, Klay Thompson remembers how to shoot the damn basketball, maybe there's a chance. I don't love it. So we got to change my Golden State Warriors prediction. I think we can keep the Bucks. I really think in the East, it's a two-man show between the Bucks and the Celtics. When they played against each other, the Bucks showed who was boss pretty handily. So it's hard to go against the Bucks, though the Celtics were on a back-to-back after an overtime game against the Timberwolves the night before. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. The Bucks handle business. We're going to keep with the Bucks, but for the West Coast, we got options. Obviously, we have the number 1 seed Timberwolves, who have looked good as of late. They ran the show with the Celtics not too long ago. Obviously, they're number 1 for a reason. Number 2, we've got my Oklahoma City Thunder. Who thought Shai Gilgeous would have this squad ready to rock and roll and be a legitimate title contender this season? Now, still, they've got issues as well. They're small. Okay, outside of Chet Holmgren, they really don't have a big. Jay Will is not really the best big. Kenrich Williams is really not the best big. Pokusevski is horrible. So they're small. They're a young team. Can they go in with zero playoff experience and make a run to the NBA Finals? I don't know. I really want to say yes, and I'm running out of reasons to say no, but it's a legitimate concern. Then we go to the Nuggets. Of course, they're always going to be a contender. Now we've got to look at some other up-and-comers. The LA Clippers have been playing really good basketball as of late. Not talk about a team with such star power as in Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, the Suns with Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, all finally healthy. Now we got to see them put together to win some games. We can't forget about the in-season tournament champs who made the West Conference Finals last year, and LeBron James, the greatest basketball player of all time, paired with Anthony Davis. We'll see if Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt can get it together and really help this team make a run in the NBA Finals. It's still possible. And I still am not going to count the Warriors out completely. It's just time for me to move on. So we've got options. I think the favorite is obviously the Nuggets. But that is way too basic for me. We're not going there. And though I could obviously see that because they made that run last year, they really didn't lose much besides Bruce Brown. But now they have some other young guys and Peyton Watson and Julian Strawther stepping up. DeAndre Jordan looks a lot better this year. Reggie Jackson looks better this year. It's a very, very good team. And I don't think I can seal my finals prediction until after the trade deadline, after the buyout market. We gotta pick somebody. I like a lot of these teams. Of course, I want to pick the Oklahoma City Thunder because that's my team. I really, really do. The more and more I watch them play basketball, the harder it is for me to say, no, they can't make the finals. I just don't want to be that biased guy, you know? I really want to say, no, they can't make the finals. They're too young. They're not quite there yet. They don't have a second star, which Chet Holmgren is already that second star. Jalen Williams is already that third option, who is better than most third options in the league. At this moment in time, I really don't know who I'm going to pick. Really hard to go against that number 1 defense in Minnesota. They're young. Their free throw percentage at the end of games is going to be tough to overcome. Foul trouble for Jaden McDaniels, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert have all been issues in the past. Rudy Gobert winning a 7-game series is almost impossible to fathom for me. When you can plan for that defensive player of the year in a 7-game series, it always seems to work out. If you can bring him to the perimeter, you can run the inside with just simple cuts. The Utah Jazz, that was their biggest problem, and I don't think that problem's going to go away. So that is the reason why I'm not going to pick the Minnesota Timberwolves, is because it's just too easy to plan for that kind of defense on a 7-game series. I already hit on the Thunder. The Lakers, they went on the in-season tournament run. They won the thing. They got their 500K, and they've sucked since. LeBron James is still out here doing GOAT things. Anthony Davis has been playing decently well, but the rest of them have kind of looked like scrubs. They've got work over this past few games. They won 2 games in a row to get back on track, and then they got whooped by the Suns. Then they lost to the Jazz. I mean, they've got to get back on track. And I absolutely think they can, and I absolutely think they will. I think they will go on a little playoff run, but all the way to the NBA Finals, that I'm not so sure. I'm not sure there's enough gas in the tank. You know, I don't know if these role players have it in them. Stay consistent. Really, that's the hardest part. I don't know. If they can get Austin Reeves more involved, if they can get D'Angelo Russell to shoot the ball at a consistent level, if they can get some of their healthy guys back like Gabe Vincent, Rui Hachimura, that could help as well. I expect them to be big trade players this deadline. I mean, they're already in talks for DeJounte Murray, and that could be a big step for them. DeJounte Murray as a third option, I think would be ideal. I don't love him and Trey together, but if DeJounte could come run the point, learn from LeBron a little bit, D'Lo shifts to the 2. Reeves comes off the bench. You know, I'm not mad about that lineup at all. If Gabe Vincent could lead the second unit as well with Austin Reeves, come on now. That's a very, very good team. And LeBron's teams are always better in the playoffs than they are in the regular season. So I don't think you can count LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers out yet. I haven't seen enough from them, to make them my finals favorite. Moving on, the Warriors, we've already talked about them. They've got to start shooting the ball better. Wiggins has to get back to form. Klay Thompson has to get back to form. Moses Moody and Jonathan Kuminga have to do a little bit more. I mean, Steph Curry can't take this team all the way to the finals by himself. That's just what it boils down to. And with all the controversy, I mean, if they can make a trade at the deadline as well, move on from Chris Paul, find a different piece that works a little bit better, then maybe. But I also think Chris Paul might end up a Laker. If they don't land DeJounte Murray, they could get Chris Paul in a buyout market. I really do believe that, and I think that'd be a really good idea. The Los Angeles Clippers, I'm high on them too, man. I'm high. If you saw my James Harden video, you know I was excited when the trade happened. Obviously, they dropped like 10 games in a row, and that was unfortunate and rough. Very brutal. But man, this team has looked very good as of late on both sides of the floor. I really like what Tyronn Lue is doing, keeping 2 of the big 4. And yes, I said the big 4. Russell Westbrook is still a big guy. Is still a very impactful NBA player. No, he is not an MVP candidate, but he contributes to winning. I 100% believe that. Okay, look at his defensive effort. He's one of the best defenders in the league by shooting percentage this year, okay? He still gets his assists coming off the bench. He still has very impactful minutes, even though they're fewer minutes. All right, that's Russell Westbrook. But Tyronn Lue is always keeping 2 of those 4 guys on the court at all times, and I love it. It's working perfectly. And that's the only thing that worries me, is if this team can stay healthy and if James Harden and Paul George are going to show up come playoff time. And I think they will, because they're not going to be asked to do so much. As long as Kawhi Leonard can stay healthy, he's going to be the number 1 option. Russell Westbrook's going to be the guy doing all the dirty work, getting the blocks, getting the hustles, plays, saving the ball out of bounds, you name it, that's Russ. All James Harden has to do is worry about playmaking, and Paul George has to play good defense and shoot the ball well. That's it. He just has to be the best 3-and-D guy in the league. Let Kawhi be the main focus. Let Harden be the playmaker. Let Russ do the dirty work. Let Zoo do his thing. And they'll be all right. I really do believe that. I really do believe that. Now, for the Phoenix Suns, I just haven't seen enough from them either. Obviously, with that big 3, they've got talent, right? Nobody can deny that. But they don't have a point guard. They're not getting easy buckets. They're not running in transition. They're no floor general, all right? It's just ISO ball every time down the court, and they've got 3 of the greatest scorers, and that's going to work, but only so far, I believe. Their defense isn't at a high level. I mean, there's just too few role players to rely on there as well. So I like the Suns as a good option, but man, I just can't count on them. So I'm coming down to my favorite 2 teams are going to be my 2 top options. And I'm deciding between the OKC Thunder and the Los Angeles Clippers. And when I started this video, I really didn't think I was going to pick the Thunder. But now I'm thinking I'm going to lean towards the Los Angeles Clippers. Just because of the simple fact that these guys have been in the league a little bit longer. They know what it takes. Kawhi Leonard has been that guy. He's won 2 finals MVPs. Okay, he's led a team single-handedly. And that's just going to be tough to overcome. Especially when you have great defenders on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, such as Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. When you have guys who can make plays over anybody in Russell Westbrook and James Harden. When Zubac is a big, strong physical big man in the post. He's going to give Chet Holmgren some problems. Now, this Thunder team is only a year or two away. But I think I'm going to take the Los Angeles Clippers. My Russell Westbrook is going to get a ring, boys. He's got to get a ring because, yes, I think whoever wins the Western Conference will again win the NBA championship. And that's just what I think. I don't know. And I don't count the Boston Celtics out. All right? I still think they're going to make a great team. They're going to make a great run in the playoffs as well. They're going to give the Bucks a battle. But I think the Bucks are still going to win that one. But that is my NBA Finals predictions. New and improved. Let me know. What do you guys think? Tell me, who do you have winning the NBA Finals? Who do you have going to the NBA Finals? And subscribe for more, fellas. We've got football. We've got basketball. We've got plenty to talk about. I love you so much. Thank you for 225 subscribers. That's amazing. Keep it growing. Thank you, fellas.